It's another versus battle between two hot Android smartphones on Verizon Wireless. I'm Aaron Baker from PhoneDog.com. It's the LG G2 and it's up against the Motorola Droid Ultra. Which one will come out on top? We'll put them together in this versus battle and find out. It's another versus battle between two hot Android smartphones. This time around, both are on Verizon Wireless. Now, first of all, you're going to have to forgive me. My voice is a little bit crazy right now. I'm a little bit under the weather, and so forgive me for my random ups and downs that you probably hear on my voice. So we'll take a look here at both of these devices and see which one comes out on top. But this is the LG G2, a very popular device by LG, LG's current flagship device available in the US on multiple carriers, and this thing's got some killer specifications all around. Then you've got the Motorola Droid Ultra over here. Droid's line, obviously synonymous with Verizon Wireless. This is a high-end Motorola device. It joins the Motorola Droid Mini, the Droid Ultra, and the Droid Max on the nation's largest wireless carrier. Now, specs-wise, on the LG G2, you're looking at a 2.3 gigahertz Snapdragon 800 CPU that's quad-core here, a 5.2-inch 1080p HD display on this device, 13-megapixel camera on the back with optical image stabilization, and you can see the difference here in overall design and look and feel between this version, the Verizon version, and then the GSM/AT&T/T-Mobile version. And by GSM, I mean unlocked. Obviously, those two carriers are GSM carriers in the States. But you can see the power button and the volume rocker still on the back of this device, and it still has the innovative features including the knock-knock feature to turn the display on and off without actually pressing the power button. It's packing a 3,000 milliamp hour non-removable battery here as well, 32 gigabytes of storage, 2 gigabytes of RAM, and then, of course, 4G LTE connectivity on the nation's largest wireless carrier. Then you've got the Motorola Droid Ultra over here. This thing is packing a 1.7 gigahertz Snapdragon S4 CPU with Motorola's X8 architecture, so a dual-core processor on this device. You've got a 5-inch 1080p HD display, a 10-megapixel camera on the back with 1080p HD video recording capabilities, a 2,130 milliamp hour battery on the sides. You've got your power button, your volume rocker, and the volume rocker actually removes from the device to show off the nano SIM card slot over on this unit. You've got your 3.5 millimeter headphone jack up top here as well, down at the bottom micro USB charging port, and overall a Droid look and feel here, very similar to the other Razr devices we saw, even though this is not branded as a Motorola Droid Razr, it's just Motorola Droid Ultra. G2 here, very thin as well, has wireless charging capabilities, packs, and I should point out this packs 16 gigabytes of internal storage, whereas this packs 32 gigabytes of internal storage. Now, both of these are rocking Android 4.2, but you can see a markedly different feel here between these two devices. First of all, this looks very much like what we've seen from LG in the past, a nice revised version of their user interface, packing Android 4.2 Jelly Bean with some applications out of the box as you'd expect from Verizon Wireless. You got accessories, Amazon, Amazon Kindle, Amazon MP3, App Store, Audible, Play Movies and TV, which is a Google thing, mobile hotspot, My Verizon Mobile, NFL Mobile, voicemail, VZ Navigator, VZ Security, and you've got quite a few of those over here as well. VZ Navigator, voicemail, VZ Security, Verizon Tones, My Verizon Mobile, mobile hotspot. You've got what else? Amazon stuff here as well, as you can see on this device. Now, overall, design-wise, pretty similar here. Both of these are plastic. You can see the Verizon logo up top here on the G2, and here's what they both look like compared on the back. Both glossy, both fingerprint magnets through and through, and I should point out this is the Ultra, so it does have the smaller 2,130 milliamp hour battery. Where the Ultra is a little bit different, though, is in the fact that it's got a near relatively stock version of Android 4.2. Yes, it has Motorola customizations, including Motorola's Assist application, which we've talked about at length on the Moto X. Options here to activate driving mode, meeting mode, and sleeping mode. And as you would expect, we talked again very extensively about this. Driving mode allows you to stay focused on the road. You can have the phone read text messages to you. Meeting mode, it'll look at your calendar and tell you when you have meetings, and it can silence the phone. So, for example, if you have a meeting from 11 to 6, it can silence it. We'll load up Quadrant Standard and take a quick look at both of these and see how they perform in that department, because much has been made about the Motorola Droid Ultra having a dual-core processor as opposed to a device like the G2 that has a quad-core processor. So we'll load up Quadrant Standard and take a look. And keep in mind, Quadrant Standard is never indicative of day-to-day performance. Both of these devices are exceptionally fast all around. I've been very pleased, and they're both very easy to hold in the hand. I think for a lot of people, and I say this in almost every video, 4.7 to 5.2 is a great sweet spot for a lot of people. This is 5.2 inches. LG says this is as large as you can get and still manage with one hand. Then you've got this device over here that has a 5-inch display as well. And even though the display over on the Droid Ultra is a 720p display, you've still got a really nice unit over here. But spec-wise, the G2 certainly outperforms it all around. So we're loading up Quadrant Standard right now. And you can see this running through its individual tests with the quad-core Snapdragon 800 versus the dual-core. Granted, this does have Motorola's X8 architecture as well, so that's running behind the scenes, making this device fast all around. And once we get done, I'll show you a cool feature that you obviously know about most likely if you watch my videos, but a cool feature on the Droid Ultra that's a feature that carries over from the Moto X. So we'll proceed here. 20,031 over here, 8,793 over on the Motorola Droid Ultra. Now you can say something like, okay, Google now, and activate Google Now over here just like you can on the Moto X. You got that feature. You also have Motorola's Assist application like I just showed you a little bit ago, and then you have Motorola Connect as well, so you can send and receive text messages from your browser, your Chrome browser I should say, on your computer as well, making it easy to send and receive text messages and get call notifications while you're either away from your desk or away from your phone. That's a really nice feature to have on that unit. Now let's take a look really quickly at the browsers on both of these. We'll take a look, you know what, we'll go into the Chrome browser over here. We'll go to Chrome over here as well, obviously, and take a look at both of these devices. So you've got a 1080p HD display here at 5.2 inches, 5-inch 720p HD display over here. We'll load phonedog.com up on both, and you can see stock Android keyboard over here, LG keyboard over here with a built-in number pad, which is quite nice and great to have when you're typing in numbers. Phonedog.com, we'll load that up. And you can see that phonedog.com loads pretty quickly thanks to Verizon's 4G LTE capabilities. Phonedog.com. And both of these are loading up right now and rocking and rolling. So both are fast all around in day-to-day use. I've been very pleased with both of these units. And you can see portrait to landscape works nice and fast. Now last but not least, we'll take a look at a couple of other things. Notice first of all, the buttons here on the G2 are on screen. So you've got back, home, and recent back home and menu, I should say, back home and recent over here on the Motorola Droid Ultra. Now a cool feature on the G2 is the ability to change these around. So I can come down here to display, for example, and go to front touch buttons, and I can change these around. So let's say I'm coming from an HTC device, an older HTC device, a Samsung device. I can change it to make the menu button over here on the left. I can change it to include a button, quick access to drop down the notification bar, and more. And you can see even within themselves, the notification bars are different with shortcuts up on the LG G2 and a little bit more of a traditional Android look and feel over on the Droid Ultra. Keep that in mind. 13 megapixel camera over here, 10 megapixel camera over on the Motorola Droid Ultra. We'll take a look at both of these devices and see how they perform. Go into apps here, go into 13 megapixel camera, and you can see the shortcuts over here on the LG G2 include little things like scene mode, which I can come in here and choose portrait, landscape, sports, sunset, and more. I can do cheese shutter, ISO, white balance, and of course I've got a bunch of different options including intelligent auto, flash, and then I can switch it around to the front-facing camera as well and say hello from the front-facing camera. Now over here, a really nice access quickly from, let's say, for example, your live camera to your gallery, really nice and easy there. And of course, within the gallery, you can edit the images and kind of give those Instagram-like filters that you probably saw with the T-Mobile SIM card here. I can come down here and change the color, the look and feel. I can crop it. I can add a border, as you can see, and save that picture as you see on this device. So I can come back here and see my edited option, my edited picture in the making. 10 megapixel camera over here. The camera is certainly better on the G2 thanks to that and the optical image stabilizer on the G2. Fantastic image quality all around. This is certainly not bad, but much like the Moto X, I find it hard to use in certain lighting conditions, unless it's perfect lighting as pretty close to right now with spotlight shining down on the device. I often find that pictures a little bit grainy, a little bit blurry, as opposed to something like the G2 with optical image stabilization and a wealth of features, including little things like, for example, scene mode, nighttime white balance, color effect, and more. I've got a lot of different options over here. I can change it around between modes. Then I can change things around cheese shutter and more. So a lot of different options to really make this device your own. So the winner of the Versus battle, as you would probably expect, is the LG G2. It's available at Verizon Wireless right now. It packs a quad-core CPU. It packs a really nice user interface. It's definitely evolved from what we've seen from LG in the past. I really like this device a lot. 5.2 inches, nice sweet spot. It's still very pocketable and a natural feel here for the power button on this unit. Potential downsides, it's hard to find any potential downsides on the G2. It's really a tough call. It just depends on what you like. Maybe you're a person that prefers a little bit more of a stock Android look and feel. In that case, the Droid Ultra, or even better perhaps, the Droid Max, could be a great device for you on Verizon Wireless. Keep it locked on phonedog.com. I'm on Twitter at phonedog_Aaron. I'm on Facebook at facebook.com/HiAaronBaker. Would love to hear what you think of both of these devices. Let me know on Twitter or on Facebook. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.